Hello, my lords and ladies. Back with another episode of Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, with the cities of Sigmar, doing the Freeguild Cavalier. These miniatures are kind of a pain, but we're going to make it as easy as possible. First off, I want to thank all my YouTube members. You guys are absolutely amazing. It's a little busy with the holiday season, so I'm trying to pump out videos, but with stuff going on, it is kind of a pain. If you're new to the channel, hit that follow button, hit that like, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment if you want to see something specific. If you look on my page, there's a list of all the games that I have. If you want to see something specific, shout out, whatever you want to see. But yeah, without further ado, let's go. First off, we are going to paint our little horsey in all of Black Legion. We're even going to do this on the hair as well of our little horsey. So get it all over. We use a lot of contrast paints, so we're priming everything in white beforehand. Don't be afraid to slap that on there. It'll make it look nice here in a little bit. Next, we're going to take a little dollop of Grey Seer and we're going to blotch it on there. Just kind of stab your horsey, the black on the horse. And you want to leave some of that black in there. It gives it that impression that it's a gray looking horse with some black hair in there. And this is what it looks like once you're satisfied. Next, we're going to paint the saddle drab, I guess. I don't know what that is. I've never ridden a horse. I'm terrified of them. I'm cool on that. I'll keep my 2 feet on the ground. In some Sigvald Burgandy. For all of the skull area around the armor of the horsey, we're going to do some Blood Angels red. For all the tassels around our armor that are hanging down, we're going to do this in some Black Templar. Now there's also some hanging down from the big area where our diamond is at, where we put our transfer stickers in, but make sure you get that area. Now this step is kind of optional because we're going to have to go over it. You could probably skip this. I did this. You probably do not need to do this, but some Soulblight Grey. We're going to use some Soulblight Grey later on in the video, but you could probably skip this. This is kind of a unneeded step that I put in there, but I just want to show you my whole process to give you some ideas. For all of our wood areas on the saddle itself, we're going to paint that in Wyldwood. There's the saddle that he or she, I don't even know what it is, sitting on, and then the metal piece or the wood piece that's sitting up on the backside holding up the skull as well. For the sash on our Freeguild Cavalier, along with the diamond area on our front of our shield, we're going to use some of this Stormfiend speed paint on there. Yep. For the little pennants, I guess you could say, around the horse's neck, we're going to use some skeleton horde. Now, the reason we paint this all in white, if you haven't figured it out yet, is because that white gives it a nice little contrast, basically a natural highlight, so we don't got to do a whole bunch of highlights at the end. Saves a ton of time when you're trying to speed paint through these things. For the leather that our Freeguild Cavalier is sitting on, we're going to use a little Snakebite Leather. Now, if you have not invested in the Citadel paints, the speed paints, or whatever they're called, they are worth their weight in gold when you're trying to paint a lot of things real quick. For our leather straps, we're going to do some Cygor Brown. So there's some on each side of our Freeguild Cavalier, holding up the stirrups around the feet, and on the back. We're also going to do this on the leather belt of our Freeguild Cavalier. So anything leather that you want in dark brown, we're going to do some Cygor Brown. And at this stage, this is what it should look like. Now, assuming that you have a perfect freehand, those Sigmar letters and the edging around those Sigmar letters should be all white. If you did not, go over them in white again, and then we're going to use some Imperial Fist on them to brighten them up. Going back to our skeleton horde well, we're going to do this on the skull of the little ornament that's hanging off the backside of the horse. Now, I tried painting the hair in Nazdrag yellow, and that turned out to look terrible. So we're going to use some Black Legion. It's going to take a couple coats. Once it dries, put another coat on. Once it dries, put another coat on. If don't mess it up, don't put Nazdrag yellow on it first. Just paint over it white. So don't make the mistakes that I am paying for. And then after that, we're going to put some Retributor Armour on all of our gold areas. There's a decent chunk of this, so take your time on it. Now, the more larger surface areas is going to be the armor for our Freeguild Cavalier. And we are going to put this on all of our major pieces of armor. The chainmail we're going to do here in a second. We're going to do some Leadbelcher. You'll see in just a moment. So hold your horses. You know what I mean? It's a good dad joke. And then put the rest of this on the major pieces of armor. And you can also put this on to the mace and other areas that you want to be a darker silver. If you want to keep it lighter silver, use some Leadbelcher that we'll be doing here in a moment. And like I had just mentioned, the Leadbelcher. Doing this on all of the chainmail, the chains attaching the horse's reins to the saddle. Using this on the mace as well. Anywhere that you want to put this. We're also going to do some Runelord Brass right after this. So you can jump back and forth between frames to see which one you like. If you want to keep it more silver or more brass looking, it's up to you. Alright, for all the brass areas, like I just mentioned, again, Runelord Brass, we're going to be using this on top of the skull, on the stirrups, if you would like, and also the little, I don't know what they are, things that are hanging down from the Sigmar below the saddle. Next, we're going to go back to our Cygor Brown and use this on the handle of our mace. Now, when painting something like this, there's so much stuff going on, you forget to paint one thing with one color, so you got to go back to it. So that's why I kind of skip around sometimes. Just like I'm going back to Snakebite Leather on those stirrups. I know I just said that. And the last color we're going to be using, and we'll see here just right now, is going to be some Cadian Fleshtone on the skin of our Freeguild Cavalier. Not a big surface area, so just slap that on. And we'll be moving on to the washes and highlights step. Yay, we got all of our base coats on. Alright, all your metal, hit it with that Nulin Oil, as I call it, liquid magic. It's perfect. It just makes everything come together like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Just delicious. Makes it look fantastic after you let it dry, and then we'll highlight it here in a second. Two colors with the Reikland Fleshshade, obviously the flesh of the face of our Freeguild Cavalier. And we also put this onto the gold areas of the trim, or around the trim, I guess you could say, of our little horsey armor. So just, you don't need to be super careful. If you make a mistake, we got to go back over with the base color, but it should be fine. For our blue areas, we're going to be using some of that Drakenhof Nightshade. So the front of the shield and the sash around our Freeguild Cavalier. Alright, moving on to some highlighting here. We're going to take some Dawnstone and we're just going to use this on strands of hair on the top of our head of our Freeguild Cavalier. We also want to work this into the mane of the horsey and the tail of the horsey as well. Now you could do less is more, where you don't oversaturate the area. You just want to pick out some strands, mix it up just a little bit. We are then going to do the face, and we are winding down here, really. We're going to reapply some Cadian Fleshtone on the forehead, the bridge of the nose, the cheeks, the chin, mouth, stuff like that. Then we are going to do a 50-50 mix of Cadian Fleshtone and Kislev Flesh and go over those same areas, really focusing on the bridge of the nose, the chin, the cheekbones, and the forehead. We'll do the eyes here in a little bit, but if you want to add just a little bit more depth, do some straight Kislev Flesh after there, just little spots here and there, bridge of the nose, forehead, chin. That's it. Alright, for highlighting your metal pieces, now I just went reapplication of Leadbelcher on this. You could do a Stormhost silver or an Iron Breakers, it's up to you, or just a lighter silver in general. But I already have this on the wet palette, so I am just trying my hardest to save on some paints, because a lot of this paint does sometimes go to waste. Otherwise, all we're going to be doing is doing a little highlighting on the chainmail and on the mace as well. Just do a little bit of edge highlighting, don't do the whole thing. You could even do a dry brush if you wanted to on that mace. Dry brushing is going to be too hard on the chainmail. I'm also doing this on the metal pieces of the buckles to brighten them up a little bit. They're on the horsey's head, our Freeguild Cavalier's waist, and around the saddle as well. For brass pieces, we're gonna put a little bit of Canoptek Alloy. I almost mess that up every time I say that. I gotta say it slow. You know. We're gonna put that onto our brass areas, just brighten it up. It's got a silvery brass look. It is one of my favorite brass silver colors. Now you could probably just mix some brass with some silver and get the same exact thing, but Citadel want to charge me $7 for this, and I paid it gladly. Take all my money. Now, like I had mentioned before, if you took my advice and said don't do the Soulblight Grey, because now we got to go with some Ulthuan Grey. Now this is going to take several layers. I think it was 4 to 5, if I'm not mistaken, of how many layers it took to brighten this thing up to gray. We also need to do the inside of the diamond as well. So everything on the horsey face, up to the neck, and all of the armor surrounding. This takes a while. Unfortunately, Ulthuan Grey does not want to set well, and it wants to just get bled through, basically. And this will what it'll look like when you're done. You know what I mean? Next, some Soulblight Grey. We're going to just kind of use this in the crevices of the neck area. Now you can notice that I forgot to paint the face in that Ulthuan Grey in this shot. And I had to go back later and do it because I totally missed it. I don't know how I totally missed it. I'm staring right at it, but it is what it is. It's part of painting. You forget stuff, you miss stuff. You're just enjoying listening to a book or music or TV or whatever. In my opinion, this is one of the most difficult things. This takes a lot of practice with miniatures, is painting eyes. For this, I just did some straight white into the orbitals of our Freeguild Cavalier, and I followed that up with just a dab. Use a very small brush and just a dab wherever you want your pupil to be of Abaddon Black. For the little plant on the bottom, we're going to use some Gutrippa Flesh, whatever green you want. You don't even have to use green, that's just what I use. And then we are going to take some Gorthor Brown and put that on there. If you have a brown speed paint, you can also do that as well to really save some time. But for some reason, I really like the Gorthor Brown. I just think it looks... Well, I started doing a couple miniatures, and now my whole army needs to look like this, so it is what it is. Once you have painted all of that, we're going to slap some of that Agrax Earthshade on there. Now, once the Agrax dries, if you really want to spruce it up, you can also do a dry brush of like Ushabti Bone or Baneblade Brown, whatever you want to do. I did not. I just said whatever. Keep it as is, because I'm going to put some fake grass down, and I also have to put the transfer stickers on, but I'm not doing it in this video because everyone's transfer sticker is probably going to be different. Some are going to be the same, obviously, but that's up to you and what you want to do with your army. And finally, your favorite paint part. It is late, and I am tired of painting this miniature, because it means you're done, is the rim of the base. Now, if you watch any of my videos, you know I paint all my rims in black because I'm not gothic or anything. I just like it. I don't know why. And here it is. That's it. That's all she wrote. Not too shabby, right? It's not going to win you any competitions, but here on this channel, if you've been watching for an extended time, we're not trying to win competitions. We're trying to get armies on the battlefield, miniatures painted so they look good in front of your friends and family, girlfriend, boyfriend, mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers and YouTube members. You guys are amazing. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, leave me a comment on what you want to see painted. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next one. Paint on.